Alright, good morning guys. Today is going to be our last full day here in Osaka, Japan. Have a pretty packed schedule today, might make a few vlogs out of it. The first thing we're going to do is go to the Capcom Museum. It's called the Great Capcom Exhibit. It's only here in Osaka for a limited amount of months and then it's going to move on to other cities, but luckily we were able to catch it. Now, I did have a little hard time trying to buy tickets online as a foreigner. They also said you could walk in during the weekday to get it, but unfortunately it's the weekend. So I had to unfortunately dig through some Reddit comments, FAQs, but I finally figured out if you go to a Lawsons, there are Loppi Machines. And if you go to Loppi Machines, you're gonna have to use Google Translate, but eventually you'll be able to find the Capcom Great Exhibit ticket, whatever it's called, and you're able to purchase it from Lawsons. I got this 2 tickets for just a little over 4,000 yen. And yeah, we're gonna go today. It's probably gonna be like an hour-ish experience. Hopefully some of it's in English. If not, I'm big enough of a video game fan. I kind of understand what's going on. So let's go check it out. All right, guys, we are making our way to the Nakanoshima Museum of Art in Osaka. Although if you're coming by station, make sure you don't go to the sister museum, which has an extra kosetsu in its name. That's not the one. We're heading to Nakanoshima Museum of Art. It's like a 7-minute walk. All right, here we are. Great Capcom Exhibit. And it's at this museum. You can't miss it. It's literally a giant L. Alright, hey guys, Future John here. So, we weren't allowed to take videos inside this exhibit, but you are allowed to take as many photos as you want. So what I'm going to be doing instead is I have a ton of pictures lined up in a slideshow format, and I'll just give some commentary so you guys will see what it was like on the inside when you guys go in a future exhibit. So to start off, we have some pictures of the outside like I've already shown in some of the video clips already. It was a beautiful day about the spring season. And yeah, we went in and at the very start, you hit the start button. So this is where you first enter a room and it's this giant long hallway with a huge wide screen projector and it has the iconic Capcom characters just walking by, flying, running, strolling, doing whatever their default animation was in their respective game. Walking along, kind of like just showcasing a lot of the history of Capcom. And yeah, this is one of my favorites. It's all the Megamans walking along, and here we have the Street Fighter cast as well, just walking. Then we have some other series, Resident Evil's right here. Dante's Inferno. This is Phoenix Wright. And then it's Monster Hunter. Then you enter the next room, which is one of my favorite rooms actually in this whole exhibit. It's only the second room too. It is the History of Capcom room. So it's everything about the entire history of Capcom and also video games too. Some of the iconic video game moments. They started in 1980 and worked their way down into the 2000s with some demos, some like actual consoles on the wall, some pictures. And they go into detail about very iconic Capcom specific moments throughout the years. And they go all the way into the current era of 2025 as well. And then they also had these family tree series here, so a lot of their flagships like Monster Hunter, Resident Evil / Biohazard, Street Fighter. They lined up a lot of their mainline series with some of the sidelines branching off into trees as well. So I thought this was really cool to see. I would have loved to see this for like the entirety of Capcom, but they only had like the main series on here. So some of the ones that I'm going by right now, Street Fighter, Phoenix Wright, Mega Man down there. And then this is what I thought was really cool. So they took the logos and title screens of all their games and made them each into a letter that spelled out Capcom on the wall. This is really cool. I took a lot of pictures of this right here. This is super iconic, especially seeing all these game logos done this way. I really liked how they did it all the way up until the end. Especially these Mega Man logos, man. They always get me every time. I love seeing them. Alright, so then now we kind of start the actual like interactive parts of the exhibit. So it's titled like different rounds, kind of like fighting games, you know, round 1, round 2, round 3, final stage. So in round 1,
you enter this like really big exhibit room where they have a lot of like posters from the games, and they also have some like actual physical games in these little like stands as well. And some of them, they even feature the iconic character designs as well as like the clothes they wear, like IRL replicas. I thought this was really cool. This is Rio on screen right now. You can see everyone's just taking photos. There's some concept art in the back. I think that was really sick to see. Here's Megaman right here, or Rockman as they call it in Japan. Here's classic Morgana from her games. Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil. I didn't know about this series, but he's here too. Of course, Dante from Dante's Inferno series. That's a 6 scale, by the way. Phoenix Wright from the Phoenix Wright games. And then this one's from Monster Hunter, I believe. And then one of my favorite low-keys of Capcom is Okami. There's Amaterasu right there in all of its glory. And then yeah, it was just a really cool room to see some of like the prop work and then the posters on the wall right there. And then to see the actual like physical games too in pristine condition. Like this is at the same level of like Nintendo Museum and how they preserve some of their iconic games. Even the box art is like almost perfect. And it was really cool just seeing them display all these games and kind of going through the ages too. Like we're going into PS1 and N64, PlayStation 2. You know, here's some of like the promotional posters as well. Like I think this is a sick one from Mega Man Battle Network series. Had some controllers as well. Into the Xbox 360 era. And then we're here at the Nintendo Switch and PS5 era. Alright, so now round 2 is kind of like their experimental stage. They had a lot of cool interactive exhibits in here. Things that are only shown in the Capcom Museum. You won't be able to find these demos or games really anywhere else. So kind of some of the first things they showed was like a lot of game design actually. So like stuff like game filters, flickering, like how they add stuff to game levels. And then like we go into like some pixel arts. So this is where they show off how they did some of the pixel arts for like Rockman, Mega Man. And then they actually had an interactive exhibit where you could actually make your own Pixel Lab character. So here is some pictures of me trying to do the how to play. And basically they had 3 levels you can either make. Mega Man, the guy from Monster Hunter, or Ryu. I just did Mega Man for the sake of time. And so I had 3 minutes to try to recreate this with the pen. And yeah, this is some pictures of me doing it. And that's the final result. And it was really cool. It's really interactive. Reminds me of like a DS game back in the days. And then they even got into some like fighting game animations and stuff too. So that was really cool. This was a particularly cool demo of the old school Hadouken and the new school Hadouken. So they actually had literally just a controller with a stick and a button, and they told you, hey, this is how you do the Hadouken, you should try it. Basically, it was just 2 Ryus firing Hadouken from the old Ryu into the new Ryu, so it was really cool to see. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, like, they're just doing Hadoukens to each other. I thought it was really cool, especially, like, if you're a fan of Street Fighter. Here's Sarah also doing her Chun-Li palette. And then right next door, we had another interactive exhibit where it was facial expressions. So it was tracking mirrors that kind of like used cameras to kind of track our faces, and then you could become literally the character that you were seeing on the screen. So here I became Luke, and then here's the lady from Resident Evil. And then here's me doing the Yuri Han from Street Fighter, opening the mouth, tilting to the side. It was pretty fun. Sarah also tried it here too. There were some other interactive exhibits too that you could touch and see, and just kind of see how they like did like the animations in the game. So really educational, I gotta say. And then here's Sarah trying to do some Hadoukens. It was fun trying to teach her. They also had this sound theater. It was kind of like near the back of the exhibit. It's kind of where you could just listen to some voice actor work, and especially like on how they voice the lines and stuff. If you wanted to sit around and listen to that, they had a whole surround sound stereo set up. So that was really cool to see here. All right, so now we go into round 3. So round 3 was kind of like the more artistic room where they had these. like kind of cameras that where you model and do 3D scanning, and like this is where the characters come into life, right, using real people. And so they even had this statue of Chun-Li that was actually just a white statue, but then they had this projector that overlaid the colors on this white mannequin. So this is what I mean. So this is the final finished modern Chun-Li, right? But like, this is what it was. Like it was just going through animations and adding layers, adding color, adding detail until it finally hit the current Chun-Li. And I thought that was really cool, you know? So a lot of this is going to be like character explanations and how they designed the movement. Here's Dante as well getting animated by the projector lights. Here's some terrain from some video games, showing you how they did some of the terrain. I thought that was really cool. They had some information on the tablets here. As well as other like kind of videos kind of showing on the wall, and you could like watch them, read them, go through all the visual effects. It was pretty cool. They had some with VFX, without VFX. They had this little picture spot in the round 3 area where it was kind of just a recreation of one of the sets, and it was really cool. You could sit here, you can actually take photos if you wanted to. We took some photos right here, did some poses, and then they had some screens with, I thought this was really cool. It's like a minimalistic roster of Street Fighter, you know, like going through, like here's E Honda representing Japan, and there's this height, weight, dislikes, Zangief, Ryu, Chun-Li. It goes on and on. I thought it was really cool. I sat here for like a minute watching through all of them. It was pretty fun. They even explained hitboxes for those who like fighting games. Yeah, no, they had a whole section dedicated to just hitboxes and how they work in video games. So they even had a movie area where it was just like a real life martial artist kind of like doing the mocap green screening of some of the moves. So it was really cool to watch, where they were just showing the martial artists again, but this time it's like the actual martial artist overlaid onto the game. So it was showing her do the move. Thought that was sick to watch. After round 3, there's actually an area where it's kind of paid, I would say. This is where if you had bought one of the premium tickets, which we did not get, we were not able to get it, but you were able to enter the like kind of like a Resident Evil experience. I think it was maybe like kind of like a VR experience where you could walk around like in the game, and you could go through some sort of scenario. I'm not like the hugest Resident Evil fan, but that is also there if you wanted to take a look. You just had to buy the upgrade with the ticket itself before you come to the museum. You enter this room where it's one more interactive exhibit, and you can choose which character you want. So you could be Ryu, Megaman, Phoenix, Wright, and then you are the person in the motion capture. I thought this was sick. I'm surprised they even let us take pictures of this. You can't take video, but basically like Sarah is as Ryu right here, and then it tells you like, hey, do some poses, do the Hadouken, you know, and then you're able to just fire it. And then here I am with Mega Man. I'm just doing the basic Mega Man poses and stuff. I even did one part where I did the, oh yeah, this one right here. It's kind of like Smash Bros. Like, emote right here on screen. I think this is really cool. This is really fun if you love these characters in the series. And then when you finish, it does the final finisher, kind of just like a smash attack. And then you're onward to the next place. I think this was just a random area where you could reenact some of the Phoenix Wright objection, you know, courtroom scenes and stuff. And we get to the final round. So in this last area of the exhibit, we had a bunch of concept art on the wall. So a lot of these provided by the original teams, the designers. Here's one for Mega Man, Son, and then there's along the whole wall there were director interviews. So these are the same ones you've probably seen on YouTube that are subtitled, but just the whole wall had all the game's directors interviews on them subtitled, and you could just sit there and listen to them if you really wanted to. You could also watch them all on YouTube. And then this is one part where you could actually write your own Capcom story. So this is basically where you get to write letters to Capcom, and if they like it, they either put it on that wall behind you see there, your Capcom stories. Some people drew art, some people wrote heartfelt letters in both English and Japanese. So I thought it was a really cool nod to the series, and then you get inspired, especially by sitting in this room with a bunch of concept art and interviews. So overall, this is a really amazing finale to the exhibit, and just seeing this whole Capcom wall was real good. Dude, some of these artists are insane. I think some of them are actually like the concept artists for the games too, not just like random passerbyers. So it's kind of in a way also an autograph wall, so you might see some like famous autographs here too. that was kind of the end of the exhibit. I really liked it. I think it was personally worth the money for sure. And if you're able to catch this exhibit, I know they're gonna be in some future Japan cities. They're kind of touring for like a year now. I know it's been like about 4 months since we've been here, but I think they're going to hit Tokyo by the end of this year, early next year in 2026. So I highly recommend checking this out if you're in the area. Again, we got tickets through the Lawsons Loppi Machine. Oh, and one more thing. There is a gift shop at the very end. Small one. They have some Capcom merch. Some merch you might already seen if you went to like a Capcom store already in like Tokyo or Osaka. But it's still really cool to be able to browse. I did get an exclusive magnet and a poster from them, as well as a mug. So yeah, if you're a fan of Capcom, this was honestly one of the coolest video game exhibits during our stays in Japan, and I would highly recommend it coming here. Alright, so I'm going to throw it back to Past John and we'll end the video.
Alright, we just finished the Capcom Museum. Hopefully I took a lot of pictures and I like narrated over for you guys since they didn't allow video, but that was really awesome. I think that was one of the coolest video game museums I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, I really like that it was informative and also interactive, which some museums are like one or the other. And I feel like they did a really good job. It wasn't like super crowded. Yeah. They like spaced out everything really well.
Yeah, that was so fun. I love the interactive parts of the exhibit too. And they surprisingly have a really good merch store. We bought some stuff. We got an art book, magnet, and a mug. So yeah, that's awesome. If this video makes it out before then and it's still available, go check it out, whatever city it's in. If not, hopefully this is like a good enough vlog to show you what the experience was like.
Well, as always, we hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.